Hello everyone. Sorry I haven't been available to make videos in a while. As you guys know, I've been pretty busy working on my Zazzle store, so I'll go ahead and make a video today for you guys that hopefully is fun, interesting, but more importantly helps you make you more money. I created a little bit of a graphic here to share with you guys some information. The reason why I talk about Zazzle so much, not so much, but the reason why I'm interested to talk more about Zazzle than maybe some other platforms out there is because Zazzle was one of the most difficult platforms for me to start. And I just didn't understand it because I tried other print-on-demand platforms and succeeded massively with those before I ever used Zazzle. And like I said, Zazzle was just hard for me at the start. But once I got to kind of understand it, a little bit more than what I would have, I succeeded a lot better, and it was actually much easier to make money on. So for me, the start was hard, right? And then it became easy. Hopefully, I can, use like a marker here that I can write with. So first it was hard, then it became easy. I'm going to every now and then just outline some stuff on the whiteboard as I explain this. But essentially, there's two main components that will increase your chances dramatically as to how to make money on Zazzle, and I call them the Infinity Stones. If you guys are familiar with like Thanos from Marvel, he has like all these Infinity Stones, which basically are like superpowers that allow him to be extra powerful. And for us, these Infinity Stones are basically like the things that allow us to basically succeed on Zazzle at a high rate. And the first one is to create customizable products. And the second one is to create bulk order potential. So I want to show you guys on Zazzle.com what I mean by that. So let me go ahead and head over to Zazzle. Let me head over to Zazzle.com and I'll show you a quick example. So here is, for example, a product that is a highly customizable product, right? So in terms of the first Infinity Stone, it absolutely agrees with it, right? And what do I mean by customizable products? Well, if I am, let's say, a mother and I want to buy a gift for the father of my children, because this is like a Father's Day gift or like a gift for him, right, on Zazzle.com, I'm going to click this personalize button and I'm going to add photos of my family, my kids inside this this tie, right? And I'm going to give it as a gift. But to be honest, how many of these can I really buy? The answer is only one. Therefore, yes, it works for this product, but it does not work for this stone. Excuse me. It works for stone 1, but for stone 2, it does not, unfortunately, right? It doesn't offer the bulk order sale just from the psychology of it, because whenever you create a product, think about the psychology. Now, am I going to sit here and tell you that it's bad to create a product with one Infinity Stone? The answer is of course not, right? At least you're putting in an effort. Nobody can sit here and say anything bad about somebody who works hard and tries to succeed in some sort of way. If you have an idea that is new, that's creative, that's original, I encourage you to try it even if it doesn't have both Infinity Stones. Remember, the Infinity Stones are basically the things that give you the chance to make more money. And it's just predictable behavior. So for example, if we go over to like any of these things, right? Gifts for brothers. Most of these gifts are like one-time purchases. They're not really, bought in bulk. And when I say one-time purchase, I really mean that they're not bought in bulk, right? So for example, if I was to purchase something for a group of people, let's say I own a book club, okay, and I was to purchase a bunch of wine glasses, for example, that would be a group of products that I would buy. I would buy 12 of them, I would buy 30 of them, maybe 15, maybe 8, maybe 7, maybe 4, but I would still be buying them in bulk as opposed to just buying just simply one. So for example, this right here, this product is a great product, right? It definitely has the customizable feature where I can change this image here instead of having this picture of this grandpa. However, it's not going to really be bought in bulk, right? So sometimes, depending on the product and sometimes depending on the psychology, you can have a product that's not only bought in bulk, but also customizable. A good example of this is that book club example. Let's say, for example, you have a book club, right? Or not you, but like somebody out there has a book club with a bunch of ladies. They get together, let's say 20 different women. They get together and they talk about a book that they read, and they love to bake, right? That's their book club. They bake while they talk about books. If you want, you can design, right, something that's related to that book club, right? And baking at the same time. And then in that case, somebody would buy all 20 of them for their book club. So you see there, the psychological aspect, it's not always just the physical product that can determine what's bought in bulk. You have to look at the psychology of the design. In this case, the psychology is what? It's for grandpas. You know, people only have one or two grandpas. It's not going to be bought in bulk. And let's be real and unfortunate, most grandpas are not around for their grandkids. So, you know, it's not something that's bought in bulk, right? So if you can psychologically think of what is customizable and then what can be bought in bulk, you're increasing your chance dramatically to make more money. The next thing you can do is you can think of the opposite of this. What if a product doesn't have customizable feature? And what if it is never bought in bulk? You know what that's called? That's called a one-off design, which is right here. And these products make the least amount of money on all of Zazzle. Why do they make the least amount of money? Well, it's simple. Because they don't actually have a high chance or a high need to be purchased. The platform Zazzle, as like a legitimate platform, was designed to help people access customizable products. And of course, are there one-off products sold on Zazzle? Yeah, there are. There's plenty of them. But they don't make nearly as much money. You know, if I get a successful one-off product versus a successful, customizable product, successful customizable products make so much more money than successful one-off products, okay? There's more demand. And remember, guys, demand, right, is what needs to exist. Because what is demand? Demand just means a need, right? So if people have a need for the product, and I apologize for my handwriting here, if people have a need for the product, they can make more money. I'm also going to be sharing with you a black hat tactic today, something that most people don't talk about, and it's a safe black hat tactic. Most black hat tactics will get you banned or get you in trouble, but this is a safe black hat tactic, okay? So what powers these infinity stones? What makes them so successful? Well, that's the thing. We have amazing tags, right? Amazing titles, descriptions, beautiful designs, and high quality products. Well, we know that Zazzle as a company already offers high quality products. So that's one out of the 5 that you don't have to worry about, right? So that's like a gift. 15% is taken care of for you. But the rest you do have to worry about, okay? And these things are your responsibility to make sure that you try your best to succeed in. Truth be told, anybody can be successful with these things. The amazing tags, the title, the quality, the descriptions, the photos. These things come together and they power the aptitude. That's the key word here, the aptitude of these stones. And what do I mean by that? Let's say, for example, we have 2 different people, and I'm going to do a little chart here. And let's say somebody only maximizes, let's say, we measure the success of these characteristics, the tags, the titles, etc. We measure that by units of measurement. And let's say person number 1, they have 15 maximum units, okay, of skill for their tags, their title, their photo, quality, all that, right? So they reach somewhere up to this point, okay? And once again, my chart is pretty ugly, but let's say they reach up to here, 15. But let's say the second person has done, a lot of work. Maybe they're artists. Maybe they're not artists. Maybe they use software tools. Maybe they, use software tools like I do, right? And I've shown what software tools I use in other videos, which I'll leave the links to those videos if you want to see them. Maybe they use software tools and maybe they're right here, right? Maybe they're like a 65, okay, in terms of skill, all right? well, their units of skill are going to be much higher, and therefore they're going to make much more money than this person will. Because what will happen is even if they get the same opportunity, even if they get the same traffic, even if they get the same visitors, those visitors are going to be more impressed by this person, and therefore they're going to purchase more. So I would encourage you to either use some sort of software like I do, or maybe train. To me, I really don't advise people to work harder in this day and age. And I know that sounds crazy, but the reason why I say that is because 90% of the work for you is already done, and AI exists, and the key is you have to know what kind of AI to use. For example, we don't just go on ChatGPT and ask us, hey, can you provide us tags for this keyword? Because ChatGPT doesn't have a semblance of what actually goes on day to day on Zazzle. Of course, it understands what Zazzle is. Of course, it has an idea of what Zazzle is, but it's not. It doesn't understand the levels of competition, the different product files, what images would be ideal to beat the competition, which is why you have to look at other competitive resources. I know I maybe mentioned this in the past, but the tool that I use, the software tool, when it finds me different tags, when it finds me different titles, when it gives me different ideas for different niches, it's actively going onto Zazzle, it's scraping data, and then it's figuring out what would work based on the information it scrapes, which is a little bit different, right? If you compare that to, let's say, like a ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not going to do that. It's just going to think of predictive search. So whatever information it has thought of in that moment, it will present, even though that information might not necessarily relate in the best formation for you for a Zazzle algorithm. All right. So, and what is the path to consistent income on Zazzle? This is kind of my little idea. First, you have to learn the algorithm. You have to learn what ranks, what sells, and how Zazzle works in general, which most of you already have because you potentially may have seen my videos. If you haven't, I'll leave some links in the description that you can watch the videos on my channel. The next is you're going to generate sales, and I forgot to mention that in order for you to even generate sales, you have to be seen in the algorithm. And when you're seen in the algorithm, assuming you're going to be doing things organically, of course, when you're seen in the algorithm, customers will purchase. They will be able to see your product because of Z rank, and you need to have a minimum of a level 4 Z rank to actually be seen in the algorithm. And then once you start getting product sales, you are essentially driving some attention to your product, you're getting some notion, you're getting some motion, and Zazzle starts to recognize that. And hopefully you're doing other things like promotion and things like that that will boost your Z rank in order for you to get a higher ranking. Something that I've noticed is my product doesn't necessarily have to be entirely better than the competitors to get more sales. Sometimes my product will get more sales or more attention or whatever than the competitors, and I know that because I rank higher, but only because of my overall Z rank. Now, that might be unfortunate. It might be fortunate depending on how you look at things, but the good news here is that if you can learn how to manipulate your Z rank, then you're really learning how to manipulate your ranking, which leads to money. I've seen people rank on Zazzle for maybe not the most attractive products and still get more sales than others simply because they're Z rank. Now, I will say this, that you don't want to rest on that. You want to be able to perform the best at all times. You want to have the best titles, the best tags, the best images, things like that, because that's going to help you in the long term with a good Z rank. Then you become bulletproof, right? Nothing can take you down. However, Z rank matters, and we would be lying if we said that Z rank doesn't control the game here, okay? And you promote your stuff on social media. I don't think you even need to really have an audience, but Zazzle does like to see that you're promoting it because they have checkers on their algorithm, and that will help you make more money. So if you can keep these things consistent, maybe not necessarily all in the same order, but just take care of these things, you'll be successful. You'll drive yourself towards success. Okay, Zazzle is not necessarily the easiest thing in the world, but it's not necessarily the hardest either. I think everybody here can succeed with it. And something I also want to say is my black hat tactic bonus that I want to provide to you guys. So we know that Z rank matters, and Z rank is actually manipulated partially by traffic. Okay, so a guy who has a Zazzle Z rank of a 6 is going to be much, much better than somebody with a Z rank of a 4. Okay, a Z rank of a 7 is much, much better than somebody with a 5, for example. However, I'm going to say that you can actually black hat manipulate your Z rank. And what does that look like? Well, if you're familiar, and some of you are probably not going to remember this, but when you very first sign up to Zazzle, and I'm guessing they still do this because, I've done it years ago. I don't think they would change it, because if they did change anything, they'd probably change their user interface. But if you sign up to Zazzle and you want to create a store, you have to go through this checklist to complete before you can actually get your product seen in the algorithm, which ends up allowing you to have like a Z rank of level 4. And what ends up happening is they want you to share your products on social media. Of course, you have to create collections and things like that, but they want you to share the product on social media. And what ends up happening is that is kind of like the last segment of the checklist for you to actually rank on their algorithm, or have a Z rank of 4, which allows you to be indexed, not rank, but be indexed, which is a little bit different than being ranked, okay? And if you take that ideology and you apply it to a bot, and you make a bot capture the links that you share, okay, on social media that connect to Zazzle, and you drive traffic towards it, Z-Rank is now getting indication that you're actually promoting the Zazzle platform through your link, because attention is coming to it. And it will actually give you a higher level of Z-Rank, which will then allow you to rank higher, which will then allow you to create more sales. This is an indirect black hat strategy. I haven't seen a singular person, and when I say a singular person, I mean it. I have not seen a singular person talk about it on YouTube or any of these sites. This was a strategy that I kind of came up with maybe 5.5 years ago, and at the time it was more complex to do. Now there's different bots and things that you can set that up with. Who knows? Maybe I'll set up a course or something, or a guide to show people how to do it. Maybe not a course. Course is like, I think people assume that, like, when I say the word course, they think of like an 8-hour thing. This doesn't take 8 hours to set up. It just takes a few minutes. But maybe I'll set up a guide or something if people want to know more information on it. But black hat strategies do absolutely work. But you have to make it look natural. You have to make it look real. If you're the type of person who's just going to send like 100 visitors instantaneously, they're going to know it's fake. But which doesn't help you, unfortunately. That would probably hurt you. But you have to set things up in a way that it would be slow and gradual. And, there are certain tools you would use and proxies and things like that. That's why it's not 100% the easiest thing to do. However, it can absolutely help if you do it right. And I have done it myself. I'll fully admit that. There's other black hat strategies that I do engage in that I have not spoke about. So who knows? Maybe I will put a guide together in the future. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And hopefully you go out there and collect your Thanos stones, all right? I'll talk to you later, or Infinity Stones, rather. I'll talk to you later. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. If you have questions, put them in the comments down below, and hopefully I'll make a video to address your question. Thank you. Bye-bye.